Here's a question for you. Can your students see their current grade in Brightspace? We can do a quick visual check by going to the Grades tool in Brightspace. Looking at the final calculated grade column, if the I icon has a line through it, the grade is not released, which means students cannot currently see it. This is a setting from the Setup Wizard. So we can see in the current gradebook settings, my default was do not automatically release final grade. I don't need to go through the whole wizard to change this, so I'll just click Settings in the upper right corner. The settings we want to look at are under the Calculation Options tab. So I'm going to check Automatically Release the Final Grade and make sure that I have it set to automatically keep final grades updated. This basically means that Brightspace will keep your grades current and that students can see it. Okay, but now when I go back to the Enter Grades view, the I still has the line through it. That's because there are already grades in my gradebook. I will have to manually release that column to my class. To do this, click the arrow beside Final Calculated Grade, then click Grade All. By checking this box at the top, it will select all the students on this page. Then click Release, Unrelease. Now this box under Released is checked. If you have more than one page of students, be sure to follow these steps for each page so that all students' grades are released. Now, when I save and close, the I should no longer have the line through it. If I highlight over it, Final Grade is released. I can also check how the students see their grades page by clicking the arrow next to a student's name and clicking Preview. This is showing exactly how students see their grades in Brightspace. It's also important that you check how ungraded items are factoring in the final grade. The options in the grade settings are drop ungraded items and treat ungraded items as 0. I currently have it set to drop ungraded items. So if I look at the final calculated grade column, I see that each student has a different final points value since they're missing different assessments. Right now, the final grade isn't accurately representing how students are doing in the course. So if you go with this setting, you'll want to manually put in zeros for students after the deadline for an assessment has passed. Here's a different scenario. If I decided to switch it to treat ungraded items as zeros, it's important that students understand how that affects their grade. At the beginning of the course, if all the students have a 100% on their first assessment, their final grade is low because the gradebook is set up to calculate all those future assignments that the students haven't done yet as 0. If you decide to go with this option, be sure to explain the setup to your students. If you don't like the term final calculated grade, you do have the option to change it. Click the arrow beside it and click Edit. You can then change the name to something like Current Total or something else that reflects that this grade is just a snapshot of a student's current progress and will change throughout the semester. With all of this being said, it is up to you when and if you release that final calculated grade column to your students. And remember, if you're having any issues with your gradebook, be sure to contact Brightspace support. This service is available 24/7.